Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Baki-san. This video is about the best 15 manhwas of all time. Number 15. The survival story of a sword king in a fantasy world. Ryon Hanbin was a normal person who just had been discharged from his mandatory military service. When he was transported to another world, left to fend for himself, he was given the goal of surviving and growing stronger in a desolate world riddled with monsters. The problem is that the guideline that was supposed to be his guiding system to survive is filled with errors. Number 14. Record of Ragnarok. The story begins when the gods call a convention to decide whether to let humanity live or die, and they settle on destroying humanity. But a lone Valkyrie puts forward a suggestion to let the gods and humanity fight one last battle, as a last hope of humanity's continued survival. 13 gods will fight against 13 human champions in one-on-one battles to decide whether humanity lives or dies. Number 13. The Great Mage returns after 4,000 years. Frey, the worst student in the Westroad Academy, the shame of the Blake family, chooses to die after living a painful existence. However, a new soul sadly takes over the body, and that is the soul of the greatest magician who have ever lived, Lucas Stroman, who seeks revenge from people that betrayed him 4,000 years ago. Number 12. The God of High School. The God of High School focuses on Jin Mori, a 17-year-old martial artist from Seoul, South Korea. He is invited to join a tournament sponsored by unknown mysterious organization no one knows about, to select martial artists that will later take part in even bigger tournament. The God of High School is a competition of martial artists across the whole world, and the most skillful warrior will take it all. However, little is known about the shady tournament taking place. Number 11. The Legend of the Northern Blade. When the world was plunged into darkness, martial artists gathered to form the Northern Heavenly Sect. With the help of the Northern Heavenly Sect, people began to enjoy peace again. However, as time passed, the martial artists began to conspire against the Northern Heavenly Sect and eventually caused the death of the sect leader, Jin Kwan-Hu, destroying the sect with it. As everyone left the sect, Jin Kwan-Hu's only son was left behind. Mu-Won has never learned martial arts, but he finds the technique secretly left behind by his father and begins to acquire the martial arts of the sect. Number 10. The Beginning After the End. The story follows the life of the King Grey after his untimely and mysterious death. Reborn as Arthur Lewin, he seeks to correct his past mistakes in the vibrant new continent of Dekatin, a world of magic and fantastical creatures. Equipped with the knowledge of a powerful king in his mid-30s, Arthur navigates his new life as the magic-wielding child of two retired adventurers and gains the purpose through each of his experiences, something he lacked in his previous life. The Magic Emperor. Zhou Yifan was the Demon Emperor. He managed to lay his hands on an ancient emperor's book, the Nine Serenities Secret Records, a book coveted by many. He was targeted by experts and was even betrayed by his student. After his death, his soul enters another body. He had came back to life in the body of a family servant named Zhu Fan. Because of the regrets of the boy, which Zhu Fan inherited, he was forced to serve the boy's mistress. Just how he could lead this descendant family to the pinnacle of this continent. Number 8. Peerless Dad. Nuga Jong has led the life of a warrior ever since he remembers, isolated from the world and elected to top it all, until he meets a beautiful woman who steals his heart. He marries her and they live a life of bliss, and she gets pregnant with his children. Against all odds, she unexpectedly dies during childbirth, leaving No alone with their newborn triplets. Desperate, saddened, but not broken, No swears to the heavens that he will become an exemplary man, to raise in invaluable treasures that his life left him. Number 7. Gusu. Gusu starts off with the backstory of Do Goryong, the Heavenly Destroyer, the strongest martial artist of his time. We learned that he was so powerful he essentially dominated a majority of the land. His rule was great until the day he sadly disappeared. The truth, however, was that he was left to die after being betrayed by his 4 apprentices. Dogu survived and took a new apprentice, a young boy he trained in a cave to get his revenge. Number 6. The Red Storm. It follows the life and experiences of Julian Bravo, the young glue, or the young leader of the Barrier tribe. who dreams of becoming the most powerful warrior of the Red Desert. The early portions of the narrative focuses on Julian and Noya Assembly, a strong guy from another measurement, who instructs him a unique style and later becomes his expert. As the narrative advances, the manhwa tells of Julian's aim of developing a group of warriors powerful enough to fix any issue, called the Red Storm. Number 5. The Boxer. It starts off showing a talented asshole, then a weak, courageous young man, and then our MC, a monster who has unusual talent for boxing. The problem is that he does not see the point in doing it. He looks dead inside, and then some boxing coach recruits him and the fun begins. Number 4. The Noblesse. Rizel awakens from his 820-year slumber. He holds the special title of Noblesse, which is a pure-blooded noble and protector of all other nobles. In an attempt to protect Rizel, his servant Frankenstein enrolls him at Yiran High School, where Rizel learned the simple and quotidian routines of the human world through his classmates. After 820 years of interview, the secrets behind his slumber are finally revealed, and Rizel's absolute protection as the noblesse begins. Number 3. The Tower of God. 25 Pam had been alone in his whole life until he met Rachel. Now, however, Rachel is set on climbing the tower, and she is willing to leave Pam behind to do so. After Rachel disappears in a veil of light, Pam follows her, vowing to ascend the tower in hopes of meeting her again. But the tower is a dangerous place, full of ancient secrets, fearsome monsters. Each floor is protected by an administrator, who puts the daring challengers through grueling tests that will push them to their limit. Number 2. Leviathan. In the world where the sea level has arisen, the water has already covered the continents. In the world where dry land cannot be found anymore, Bota's family lives in a small boat and wanders the ocean and scavenges for food and parts from underwater cities. Below the surface lurk sea monsters that hunt for food, and that includes people. After a near-fatal encounter with monsters, Bota meets the mysterious Kana. Is solo leveling. It is an ongoing manga. It has 141 chapters, and the story is like this. Since a portal connecting our world to a world full of monsters opens, creatures of all kinds appeared, and some people have acquired powers and ability to hunt them. They are called hunters. The protagonist of the story, Sung Jin-woo, is the weakest hunter, a part of the Iran classification, and in all of South Korea, and barely stronger than a normal human. One day, he and some other hunters find themselves trapped in an extremely dangerous and rare double dungeon, and only a few of them survive and manage to escape. Sung Jin-woo himself dies, but manages to complete all the trials in this dungeon. He then wakes up in a hospital and finds he has turned into a player who can now see an interface showing him quests, stats, inventory, store, and levels, while he succeeds in leveling up and becoming the most powerful hunter in the story.